So this is the first video of this type that I've ever put up on this channel. And despite that, it's actually one of the most important types, because the whole reason I started this project is that I wanted to show the evolution of the characters in the Bionicle universe, show where they started and where they ended by the time their part in the story had concluded. And with Vakama, not counting the characters who just don't undergo any transformations, I have all the versions of him, and that's the first character who I've had all the different versions of. And that includes the 3 sets he was actually made for, which are this one, Vakama, coming out 2004, this one, Vakama Hordika, coming out 2005, and then this one, Vakama, coming out 2001. The one right here depicts him as a Matoran, which was never released, but via context clues we can figure out what he would have looked like, which is what this replicates. So I just wanted to take some time to go over the story of the character and the evolutions he went through. And this is unscripted. I'm trying it out. We're just gonna see how it goes based off of what I can sort of remember. So Vakama started off as a craftsman in Ta Metru, the fire district of Metru Nui. And he was a mask maker, and he was very good. He was trained by Nuri, and soon after he just surpassed his teacher and went on to become one of the best mask makers. And so at some point, shortly before the Great Cataclysm, Taragaduma came up to him. Taragaduma, quotation marks, came up to him and was just like, hey, I need you to make this all-powerful mask. You can totally do that, right? And he was like, probably. So he started working on that. And that was Makuta Pterodax in disguise, who wanted the power of the Kanohi Vahi, the Mask of Time. So around that time, he was gifted a Toa Stone by Likan, as the official pronunciation, I believe, says, even though that sounds stupid. And he and 5 other Matoran traveled to the Great Temple in Ga Metru. I gotta speed this up. Anyway, and they were turned into Toa. And during that time, he worked on crafting the Kanohi Vahi. And they defeated the Morbuzak after finding the Great Discs. And they did all sorts of things. But he eventually, after becoming a Toa, I should have clarified that. Yeah, here we go. We're dealing with this guy now. So he's transformed into a Toa when he goes to the Great Temple in Ga Metru. And this is the guy who, with the other Toa Metru, works to defeat the Morbuzak. And so they find the Great Discs. It's this guy who realizes that he can fuse the Great Discs together to make the Kanoka Disc that can forge the Mask of Time. And so he works on doing that throughout their adventures when Taragaduma, again, quotation marks, it has everyone after them and stuff. And he does that for a while. Eventually, they're able to find Toa Likan, or Taraga Likan, who had disappeared, and he is able to forge the Mask of Time. They have a fight with Makuta. Makuta Pterodax kills Likan, and the Mask of Time is lost to the Sea of Protodermis outside Metru Nui. Now at this time, Vakama right here, he travels with the other Toa Metru and with the other Matoran in their canisters up above to the island of Mata Nui, and that's when they first go exploring that place. Now they only had 6 Matoran pods, Matoran spheres with them, so they had to make their way down through the maze of shadows. And when they came back, Metru Nui was overrun. They tried to find their way through to get to the Matoran, but they were captured by the Visorak, and they were mutated into the Toa Hordika. So here we go, we have Toa Hordika Vakama, the next evolution in his character. And it was at this time that he was tempted by Rudaka, who at the time was working with the Brotherhood of Makuta. So he's tempted by her, and his rage mixed with the Hordika venom causes him to go a little crazy, and he goes power hungry. A lot of people don't like Vakama turning evil, which I kind of get, but I'm going to get to why I enjoyed it a little after. Anyway, they're able to convert him back. He's good. So he goes from this form back into this form. The other Toa Hordika found Kitangu, and he was able to revert them back to their Metru forms. So now this guy is out of the picture. It's just these three. And then Vakama has a whole thing with Makuta Pterodax. He retrieves the Mask of Time, and they're able to return to the island of Mata Nui, where he and the rest of the Toa Metru give up their powers and become Turaga. They are around for 1,000 years on that island, and he's Turaga there. He eventually becomes Turaga of Metru Nui, along with the other 6 Turaga and Duma. And later on, he helps defend the city of Metru Nui during the siege of Metru Nui, which was that final battle in the Destiny War, which was so good. Holy crap, that was like in-game levels of awesome. It was honestly so much better than what the heck was going on in Carta Nui during that time. But yeah, unfortunately, the Mask of Time was stolen away by Voporak, who was the being he actually fought to get it last time. And the Battle of Barra Magna, when... Oh, ooh, we skipped some. Okay. Makuta Pterodax takes over the universe. He helps everyone get down into the archives, and Kraka Arahi, he fought back in his Toa Metru days, is able to help them find a way out. And anyway, after the battle of Barra Magna, when Pterodax his body is damaged, the Great Spirit Robot's body is damaged, Vakama and the rest of them are able to find a way out, and he migrates onto Spherus Magna, and well, we don't know what happened from then. Greg never really updated it, but yeah. And I feel like now that we're done with just going over the base story, I do want to talk about a little bit, if anyone's still around, just how cool Vakama's character really is, because as opposed to focusing on more of the story aspects, Greg, with the prequel years, really chose to do a different thing, where he focused on Vakama's character solely, which meant some other characters kind of fell to the wayside, but because of it, Vakama was able to develop, like, a lot. And that was really cool. So he started off insecure. He didn't really want to become a Toa. So he was a Matoran. He became a Toa. His weapon, the disc launcher, represents his unwillingness to become a Toa, just because, you know, he really... That's a Matoran tool. It was used during Akalini, which was a Matoran sport. So it just represents his willingness to cling on to that. And he's really whiny during a lot of the events. After Lee Kan's death, he's just kind of angry and doesn't know where to put that anger. He's determined. He's like, I've got to make this right. I didn't do this right last time. The Matorans suffered because of it. And that anger manifested in Hordika Vakama and, you know, Web of Shadows, when all that happens. And when he's turned back by Matau, and he, like, learns the errors of his ways, you think it all culminates there. But seriously, if you haven't read Time Trap, that was the whole thing with Pterodax and the Mask of Time. You guys gotta read Time Trap. It's so good. But, like, it all culminates, and there's this, like, page and a half. I probably should have pulled it up. And it perfectly shows his character. And it's like he's gone from the shadows and come back again, and he's the stronger for it. And he knows what's right now. He came from this Matoran who just wasn't ready to become a Toa, and now he knows his duty and he's willing to carry it out. And that's why I don't know, it was just really cool because a lot of Bionicle characters never really got to shine like that. And you know, we did get to see a little bit of Vakama back in Destiny War, and that was really fun too because it felt like he was still a character and not just a random wise guy, which was most of the time what happened to him. But yeah, this is the character timeline for Vakama. This is him. I really hope to do more videos like this. Again, I really can only make them when I have all the different versions of the characters. So if you stuck around, thanks. I know this is a rambly video, and it's definitely my longest to date. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. I will have a video coming out pretty soon talking about the future of the shelves, which I have figured out now. So that's pretty much it. Bye.